at the airport and we're about to head somewhere nice.
We arrived in Cancun late in the evening, picked up our rental car and headed straight to the hotel. No training that day, just a good dinner at a sushi place by the port and a much needed night of rest. The 7-hour time difference hit hard. I woke up several times and way too early, but I made the most out of it. I hit the hotel gym for some light cardio, and yes, I do cardio several times per week. It's not the enemy when planned right, obviously. Cardio can actually support your strength training by boosting recovery and your work capacity, and obviously for health conditions. Now, the gym was better than expected. It was open 24 hours, well equipped and empty at sunrise. Speaking of sunrise, catching the view over the Cancun coastline was definitely one of the perks of that jet lag. After breakfast, I got a real training session in, since the gym setup didn't allow for my regular programming, so I had to adapt, and that's a key concept here. Adaptation over frustration. So don't ditch your plan, just adjust it. When the available equipment limits stimulus or intensity, I compensate by increasing training frequency. It's not perfect, but it helps maintain adaptations and keep the habit loop alive. Now, that just means we're training several times per week with less exercises and less volume per session.
What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another vlog. And as you can see, this time around we're at a different location, not anymore in the dark and gray Berlin. We've changed scenery. I actually traveled to the other side of the world, to Mexico, staying in Cancun for a couple of days before we continue our journey to some other places here. And yeah, staying here for a couple of days, getting used to everything, getting rid of the jet lag and enjoying the time.
After training, we hit the beach in the hotel zone, and locals told us it was pretty cold for the season, which really just meant a bit of wind and bigger waves. Still good enough for a mini adventure and some wave wrestling. Then we headed out for lunch, and that was actually unreal. A local seafood spot served the best pescadillas and shrimp ceviche I've ever had. And yes, there were signs of warning not to swim near the restaurant. Apparently crocodiles like that area. Sadly, we didn't spot any though.
We've been traveling around or driving around with the car today already and saw some nice places, some nice beaches, and there is definitely some areas that are less touristy, but here is a big zone that is called the hotel zone, and most of the big hotels and most tourists of course staying there. And yeah, we try to escape that for the next couple of days and get some more local insights of Mexico, because that's what I think it's all about when you're traveling to other country or a new country. You want to get to know the area, the people, the food, and so on. Now we're off, get ready for dinner, eating some nice tacos or similar, and yeah.
Yes, we ended up eating tacos, and I'd say we found the best of the whole trip. Especially the gringa tacos, a variation of the traditional pastor taco, served with cheese and flour tortillas. Insanely good.
Hey guys, what's poppin'? We are driving to Tulum, but first we're heading to Spua. I don't know how to spell it, I will write it down there somewhere. And yeah, we're going to the beach, enjoying the sun, and maybe we're heading by a cenote. Not sure about that yet, but for now we've still got 30 minutes to drive and we should arrive. We just arrived and now we're heading towards the beach.
And this beach, beautiful, literally. Clear, turquoise water, white sand, totally relaxed vibe. We just soaked in the sun, enjoyed the view and embraced what we could. In the late afternoon, we arrived in Tulum, and our hotel was located in a newer area packed with restaurants and bars. I headed to a small local gym as well, got a quick workout in. Day 4 started off pretty strong, literally on a boat. We had booked a snorkeling trip in a nearby national park, and the idea was to spot sea turtles, race, and enjoy the ocean. And we did all of it. But let's just say the ocean had its own plans. It was windy, choppy, the boat felt more like a floating peanut shell. Snorkeling in those conditions, not ideal. And by the last stop, well, I got seasick. I literally threw up right after swimming with the turtles. Still, it was beautiful, and we made the most out of it. Swimming with wildlife in their natural habitat is always a win. After the boat trip, we explored the nearby Mayan ruins. It's one of the coolest things about this area. History and nature all in one place. But we've also got our first real taste of a even more bigger issue: seaweed. Some beaches along the Riviera Maya deal with huge amounts of it, especially during the current season, and it builds up along the shore, can smell pretty bad, and honestly ruins the vibe a little bit. That evening, I dragged my sunburned, seasick self to a local calisthenics gym, Navi Tulum, actually one of the better spots I trained at during the trip. And it was close to our hotel, it was outdoor or semi-outdoor, and had everything I needed for a solid upper body session. And here's the thing, even if you feel off, whether that's bad sleep, too much sun or seasickness, showing up matters. It doesn't need to be your best session, just needs to keep the habit alive. I kept it simple, focused on quality movement. Well, I can't say I didn't focus on ego lifting because I made it. I even tried to match my PR of 60 times 3 in the pull-up, but unfortunately the last rep was not properly over the bar. So yeah, it is better to leave the ego out and get some good reps in, because sometimes the hardest part is just showing up. and then we grabbed a quick aperitif and headed to a local market where we stumbled into a salsa night. I didn't hit the dance floor, but the food was great and the vibe even better. Perfect way to settle into a new city. The next morning started a little differently. On the laptop. Even while traveling, I check in with my clients, give feedback and keep things running. That's the beauty of online coaching. It goes everywhere you go. After breakfast, we hit the road and drove inland to Koba, a less touristy set of Mayan ruins hidden in the jungle. We intentionally skipped Chichen Itza this time. It was too far away, too crowded, and Koba offered something more peaceful and a little bit more shaded, which we appreciated because it was pretty hot on that day. The ruins were actually quite beautiful. Massive structures peeking through the trees, wildlife sounds everywhere, and it felt like we stepped into another world. Afterwards, we cooled off in a nearby cenote. This one was almost empty, crystal clear water, a natural donut-shaped pool, and fish swimming all around. We've even spotted a few turtles, and yeah.
We are here at Tulum Beach and we wanted to go to the Tulum Jungle Gym, but it was so expensive that I thought, nah, it's not worth it because the equipment is not so nice and I don't pay 40 euros. Usually I don't have any issues spending some money, especially for training, but I already trained the last 2 days in a row, did all my training, so today was supposed to be a fun training and therefore not as much needed, or it's not needed to spend as much money. Now we're walking down the beach of Tulum. It's gonna be our last day here before we travel to the next location. We're gonna travel there in the afternoon. Now we're gonna look for a beach club, enjoy the sun, enjoy the beach. Yeah.
A few days later.
So we just arrived at our last destination, Isla Holbox. You haven't heard anything from me the last 2 days. I had a little food poisoning and was lying in bed and spent most of the time on the toilet. So therefore it's even better to be here, feeling much better and enjoying the beautiful beaches and nice sea over here. It's pretty nice here, super nice actually. I kind of feel like in the Caribbean Sea where we used to be before, but it was not that nice. This is here and we're now in the Gulf of Mexico and that looks pretty stunning, to be honest. Those sky wide beaches look stunning and yeah, I expect to have a great time here.
I definitely lost a bit of weight from being sick, mostly water, a bit of muscle and some appetite. But recovery isn't about perfection, it's about momentum. So I eased back in, gentle movement, light food, a lot of sun and even more water. When your body takes a hit, especially with gut issues, it's smarter to scale back. The worst thing you can do is to try to force your way back to full throttle too soon. So taking things a little bit lighter when restarting training is definitely the way to go. MC Loisy is back. Just joking. Today we are going on a little boat trip, the so-called 3-island tour. And hopefully we're going to see some dolphins, manta rays and some stuff. Snorkeling in the cenote. Yeah, should be a nice day, hopefully. The last few days on Holbox were exactly what I needed. No real schedule, no pressure, just a slow return to movement, calm and good food. I trained a couple of times at the local gym, not to chase numbers or volume, but simply to feel my body again. Get a pump, focus on control and enjoy the process. And honestly, sometimes that's the point of training while traveling. It's not about progressing every metric, it's about maintaining the rhythm, supporting your mindset and staying in touch with what you actually love. So, as I mentioned before, when I'm on vacation and especially during a time where I'm coming back from an injury or sickness, it's always smarter to start off a little bit lighter and then gradually build momentum over time. It's not the time to hit PRs, so ensure the ego is not taking over and get some decent work in without overly fatiguing yourself. And yeah, a nice strategy that works quite well for me is to increase training days and reduce training volume per session, but increase training intensity, so training closer to failure with less sets, but more often throughout the week seems to be the perfect sweet spot for me on vacation. And this is where I can hold on to the most adaptations, and it doesn't take too much away from the vacation because you only spend 30-40 minutes in your training and then you can focus on the rest, exploring and so on. So I didn't film much in Holbox. I wanted to turn off the noise, be present and enjoy this final stretch of the trip. But trust me, it was the perfect close, white sand, crystal clear water and finally feeling like myself again. Mexico is a wrap. 4 cities, 14 days, plenty of training, a few surprises and a lot of lessons. Would I do it again? 100%. And next time, probably with even better tacos. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and share for more training content.